Julian Alvarez wants to leave Manchester City already, according to reports coming from Spain and other journalists around the world suggesting that the negotiations between Julian Alvarez and Manchester City are voided or are not making any progress whatsoever. And this comes as a massive surprise to me. Last week or in the last 10 days, we have been told City have been trying to open negotiations and discuss a new and improved deal for La Araña. Julian Alvarez, give him more money, make him feel more part of the team, give him a longer contract and explain to him what we're doing moving forward. But of course, you know, people, how I feel about Spanish journalists. They have to make everything a goddamn circus. They have to catastrophize everything and come out with reports. I don't know, is to fill their papers, is to get clicks. I would assume it's all part of that. It's very American, you know. Listen, the first report I want to talk about is from the main man, the fulcrum of Spanish circus reporting when it comes to football transfers. This guy wrecks my head. El Chiringuito, tic tac, tic tac, tic tac. You know the guy I'm on about. The guy who sits in the studio with the suit on and he has the timer behind him going tic tac, tic tac. Shut up with your tic tac, man. Honestly, listen. He says Julian Alvarez wants to leave Manchester City and will ask them to sell him this summer. This is absolutely mind-blowing. It really is mind-blowing. He doesn't really give any basis in this report as to why Alvarez, and this comes from managing Barca, of course it does. He doesn't really give any reasoning as to why Alvarez will want to leave. Now, I will concede the fact that it's perfectly normal for conversations and talks to arise within the football world as to why is Julian Alvarez, why would he stay at Manchester City when he's playing a bit part role or he's a substitute behind Erling Haaland all the time? Listen, he's made 30 appearances this season, Julian Alvarez. Granted, a lot of them from the bench. He scored 10 goals. But you also have to remember that the full context, there really is more context to the Julian Alvarez situation at Manchester City. He came from River Plate in July, having literally just finished his season with River Plate. So he's had non-stop football all the way through last year, right into the summer, into the World Cup, which brings us right up to now. The kid has had absolutely no break. So first, you have to manage how much football he plays. You don't want to burn out a 22, 23-year-old and get him absolutely sick of playing football and tired of the game in general. So we had to manage that. You also have to realise City are going through a stylistic change. They're trying to find a way, quite clearly, whereby we can fit Haaland and Alvarez into the same team. You saw it against Bournemouth. You've seen it in other games to create more chaos. It's quite clear Pep has plans for Alvarez beyond just being a traditional striker. We did not bring him in to just be a fox in the box or a Sergio Aguero or an Erling Haaland. He was brought in to be able to play on the wing, to be able to play in a number 10 kind of role. You saw his heat map against Bournemouth. His average positioning was on the halfway line. There's a wider picture to make Alvarez a more overall footballer than just a number 9 striker. Why are the Spanish journalists saying this? There's another one, C.L. Merlo, another Spanish journalist. He says Julian Alvarez has been watched by other clubs. If he still does not have the leading role at Manchester City, it's possible he seeks a loan move in June. For me, I'm just going to be completely real with you, as I always am. It seems to me the Spanish press and the Spanish journalists are desperate to get La Araña, Julian Alvarez, into La Liga, get him to Real Madrid, get him to Barcelona, get an up-and-coming World Cup winner into the league, and it'll bring more eyes to the league, and it'll help revive the La Liga. Because the La Liga, let's call a spade, it's not doing too great right now. I know Real Madrid just battered Liverpool and Anfield and whatnot, but the money in the Liga is nowhere near the same it is in England, so they're trying to bring some of our assets from England into the Spanish league. The next part of that report says Julian Alvarez has not yet reached an agreement to renew his Manchester City contract, with his current deal running till 2027. Man City have been negotiating for some time and want to improve his terms after the World Cup. However, an understanding has not yet been reached. This is perfectly normal for City. I can understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to, yes, if you can get another year on top of his current contract, that's absolutely fantastic. But the main thing is, give the kid more money. Give Alvarez more money. Make it crystal clear to Alvarez that you are an integral part of this team. You are absolutely critical to what we are doing moving forward. You are not just a side man to Erling Haaland. You are not just a side dish, a coleslaw, an olives, a mashed potato. You are very much part of the main course. You are going to be part of this team moving forward. I think it's perfectly normal that because we're going through a transition, we have to pick and choose when we play and where we play Julian Alvarez. And of course, refer back to the point I made. You don't want to overrun the kid. He's so young and he's had no break, like real break from football for well over a year. You don't want to ruin the kid physically and mentally. There's other reports here from Veronica Brunati, who is an Argentinian journalist. She says Alvarez will sign a new Man City contract in the coming days, extending his deal by an extra year. Like I said, the extra year doesn't mean a huge amount. It's about giving him more money, giving him the understanding that he is a really important part of this team. I find it very frustrating. I find it very frustrating how every single year the Spanish press do this. They pick one of our players or one or two of our players and start talking about how that player is unhappy or how that player wants to leave. We've heard it with Bernardo, we've heard it with Gundo, we've heard it with Laporte, we're now hearing it with Alvarez, and just our top players in general. They want to disgruntle and put some unrest into the mindset of those players to try and get them to Spain, get them to big Barca, get them to big Real Madrid, and help La Liga and Spanish football get back on top. El Chiringuito, this guy, Mr. Tic-Tac, he's always at this, and he's regularly wrong. He's regularly wrong. Do you remember the Messi saga? The guy was never done making reports. He was never done sitting there in his shirt and tie doing tic-tac, tic-tac, tic-tac. Mate, you're like 60. This is mad, this circus you've made surrounding transfers in general. And I get it, it makes clicks, the game's the game, it makes him his cash, and it gets him his likes and clicks and whatnot. But as far as Manchester City goes, I don't get the impression that Alvarez is the kind of ego to come into our club in July, August, and by February start saying, sell me, I want out, I want to go now, when he's progressing quite clearly very well. It just doesn't make sense to me. I'm just being completely real. It does not make sense to me. I don't get that impression from him as a person. Like I said, he doesn't seem to have an ego. He seems very humble and grounded. I can't see him throwing his toys out of the pram. And this just comes across to me as an attempt from the Spanish press to maybe make him feel like he should be asking for more, or he should be pushing for a move. Go to Real Madrid, go to Barcelona. It doesn't make sense to me. Please leave your thoughts down below on these reports. I think it's a bunch of nonsense. I think in the next week to 10 days, or maybe a bit longer, you will get a confirmation from Manchester City that La Araña, Julian Alvarez, has signed a new contract, and all these bullshit reports will be put to rest. That's just the way I look at it. If you don't like it or you don't agree with me, that's perfectly understandable, but I'm just keeping it real with you. Please do leave a like on the video and subscribe if you're new. We're about 250 subs off 6k. I'd love to hit that as soon as possible. And I'll see you tomorrow with some brand new content. Good night and God bless.
Listen to your heart, tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart, tell me that you